So we'll begin. Excuse me. So before we start, just want to tell you about the retreat that's starting on Sunday evening, and then it's 4 full days next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and it's called This Elemental Life. And there's still places available for that if anyone's interested. And Mark is going to put the link in the chat box now, and then he'll put the link in the chat box at the end. Yeah, and today I was traveling back from London. My stepdaughter got married yesterday, so that was very joyous. And I was traveling with Sona, my husband, who's also a really wonderful meditation teacher and practitioner. And I'm leading a retreat next week. So we were talking about it. I was saying, sort of exploring with him how, the best way into the elements, how could I approach? I mean, I've already got lots of plans, of course. But to summarize it, I think what we're going to be doing, and I want to have a little bit of a go at it this evening as well, is finding presence, finding mindfulness in the moment, because the moment is the only moment we're actually alive, isn't it? The only moment we can experience ourselves is right now. Everything else is memory or planning or whatever. And very often the way we experience ourselves in the moment can be quite tight and quite rigid. I don't know if that's the case for any of you, but I know for myself, I can, my sort of habitual state can be quite tight and rigid. And this is why I often talk about flow and openness and these other qualities. So what we're going to do over the week, and we'll have a little taste of it this evening, is we'll feel into the earth element in ourselves, which of course can give us a sense of solidity and groundedness, strength, very, very important. And yet even earth has this quality of change, like even our entire skeletons are completely changed over 7 years. Isn't that amazing? And so there can be this sense of sort of pliability in how we relate to groundedness in ourselves. The water element, fluid, flowing, of course, that can be really beautiful. How can we bring that kind of quality into our lives? And the fire element, which is warmth, that's love and care and kindness. How can we bring that quality into our lives? And then the air element, which is very, very spacious, invisible, subtle, delicate, mysterious. How can we bring that quality into our lives? So we're going to be exploring that over the 4 days, and we're going to be using music and poetry and movement, and we've got a drawing workshop. So it's very much about creativity and the imagination as well. Very, very important qualities. You could say, so we have our present moment experience that we become aware of, and then it's a profoundly creative act to transform how we respond to whatever's arrived in the moment. You could say that's the key skill that we're learning in these kind of contemplative trainings, because very often we just react, don't we? Something's unpleasant, we push it away. Something's pleasant, we want more of it. We grab hold of it, and we continually suffer. But if we can be deeply, deeply creative, and I don't mean sort of painting creative, I mean creative with how we work with ourselves, then we meet the moment with this openness, with this creativity, fluidity, possibility. And then, of course, the next moment is a little bit more open because of that. And then we meet that with more creativity and flexibility. And the next moment is informed by that. And that's how growth and change can happen, I believe. So we can go from these sort of rigid, tight, stuck states to something much more open and abundant. So we'll be doing that over the 4 days next week. Sunday evening is just a kind of introduction, then we'll have a full day. Everything's on YouTube, so if you're in a different time zone, you can catch up on YouTube recordings. We'll have groups and all these other things. So yeah, the link's there if you're interested. But I'm really looking forward to it. Okay, so let's move into this meditation now, where we're going to feel these elements within ourselves, feel their qualities, and see if we can be a bit less tight and rigid in relation to them and around them. Find something more flexible, more fluid, more creative in the moment, in the knowledge that that will then inform how the next moment unfolds, and so on and so forth. Okay, so begin by finding our position. choosing it wisely, whether we want to sit or whether we want to lie down or whether we want to stand. And then beginning to settle. Arriving into the moment and into the meditation. To help this, let's have a sense of the weight of the body resting down into the chair, the feet into the floor, or for lying down, the back of the body against the bed or the floor, and the head resting into the pillow or the cushion. So we're taking our place upon the earth and looking for dignity as we do this. And I find it helpful, and you can join me if you'd like to take a few deeper breaths, and then on each out breath, to let go of the past, let go of the future, arrive in the here and now. Letting go, releasing, settling, resting, arriving with each out breath. And then when you're ready, allowing your breathing to find its own natural rhythm. An opening phase on the in-breath and a settling and yielding, releasing phase on each out-breath. So we're receiving on the in-breath and we're releasing on the out-breath. Letting this be natural without strain. And let's start by looking for stability, this earth element within us. The earth that makes up the mountains, the rocks and the trees. Very stable, grounded, solid. Let's look for that quality within us as we settle. Our foundation as we sit here, as we lie here, as we stand. What's it like to rest into stability without rigidifying around that experience? Body that's alive, got lots of processes happening all the time. Even the bones are full of cell and the cells are full of life. So we're feeling into stability and groundedness without becoming rigid and tight. What's that like? And one way to get a sense of this is every time we notice we're tightening, we can release back into gravity. Let the body rest into the chair, into the floor, softening the buttocks. Of course, there's the breath flowing in and out of the body. Letting it be a little bit in the background, and in the foreground is this quality of the weight of the body resting, held by gravity, held by the earth. So we don't need to grip. We don't need to hold on. We can rest. Yield the weight up to gravity. We've got pain or discomfort, as I know many of us do. Seeing if we can just let it be part of our experience. If you notice you're tensing against it, pushing it away, in and noticing perhaps you could soften a little bit. That pushing away will have a rigid quality. And just resting the weight of the body back into gravity. So allowing awareness to rest right inside the whole body. Now let's bring the water element within us to the foreground of awareness. It's the blood flowing around the body and saliva and tears. And the nature of water is to move and to flow. So without getting technical about it, let's just look for a quality of flow within us. Again, it's the antidote to rigidity. Of course, it's the flow of the breath. Maybe getting a sense of saliva in the mouth. Not stuck, it's flowing. What would it be like to live with more fluidity, less rigidity, less gripping? Living with presence and allowing experience to flow through presence rather than getting tangled up with it, pushing and shoving against it. And we let our relationship to our experience metaphorically become more liquid. Receiving experience fully and then letting it go fully. And now let's bring warmth to the foreground of awareness. So obviously physical warmth, a sense of temperature in the body, maybe feeling it in the hands, face, some other part of the body. And then there's emotional warmth, the emotional side of life. So let's see if we can bring a quality of care and interest and curiosity to this meditation. It's not an abstract exercise, but it's a way, if you like, of falling in love with experience as it happens. Caring about ourselves, caring about experience. And in this way, we can care about others. You've got pain or discomfort. Can you bring a kindly heart to that experience? Treating yourself the way you'd naturally respond to a loved one having this experience. Find it helpful, you could metaphorically allow the breath to be kindly. So on the in-breath, imagine there's warmth and love and care pouring into the whole body, heart, mind. And then on the out-breath, it goes even deeper into the body, heart, mind. Now let's bring the quality of air into our experience. Very subtle, mysterious, delicate. Maybe feeling sensitivity of the breath around the tip of the nose or the upper lip as it passes into the body and out of the body, but it's very delicate. Air that can move in all directions, subtle. We can look for this quality of delicacy, receptivity, subtlety in terms of how we relate to our experience right now. As we let go of gripping, we rest in the moment. We allow experience in, we let it flow through the moments without getting so tight, so rigid, so stuck. And if we do get stuck, of course, which might happen, then we can meet that with delicacy, receptivity, and do a reset in this moment, release back into gravity, soften, and starting again. Every moment is a new chance. Now let's move into a period where we rest inside all these qualities with this sense of receptivity, even relaxation, openness, curiosity. So there's a quality of groundedness, stability. It's a quality of flow and experience being like water. There's warmth and care and love. And there's delicacy and receptivity, mystery, and the subtlety of the breath. Allowing everything to arise and pass, arise and pass. Resting in these qualities. No, letting go of any effort whatsoever. Let's just simply rest. Just sit, just lie, just stand, absorbing the effect of the practice. Maybe just reflecting on the effect of spending this time in this way. And we're really bringing a tiny bit of movement into maybe the fingers and the toes, just beginning to move the body a little bit, but seeing if we can bring this more open, creative, flexible attitude to experience as we transition into movement. And then gradually coming into bigger movements. However you want to move, whatever the body's calling for. Very gently bringing the practice to a close. You just go back to gallery view so I can see you all. There you all are. It's nice. Good. So really wonderful to practice with you all. To me, the world of good after sitting in the car all day. And yeah, so for those of you who are new, I always stay on for a little bit at the end and people write in the chat box what they noticed, what they experienced. I always read it out because we sometimes have people here for whom reading the chat is difficult. And actually, I don't think it's very good for any of us to be peering at the screen in that way. And Mark will put in, he has already put in the chat box, the link for the Elements Retreat if anyone's interested in joining us for that. Good. And if you want to just slip away quietly, of course, by all means do that. So what have we got here? Robert, that was restorative. I needed that. And Janice, so beautiful. I feel transformed. It's so interesting, isn't it? You know, it's just half an hour sitting there doing nothing. But of course, we are doing something, which is working with the mind. But that can be very encouraging, I think, how just what we do with the mind can have an effect. And that's saying thank you, everyone. Joe, very interesting and thought-provoking meditation. Thank you. Gail, lovely practice. And Valerie, thanks so much. This was very soothing and grounding. Lorian, so much more relaxed and peaceful. Thank you so much. Feeling much better from my fall too. That's really good to see, Lorian, because saw on Lorian's Facebook page she had a really, really nasty fall. So I'm really pleased that you're feeling better and wonderful that you're here. And Lizzie, that was lovely. Thank you. I feel so much better. Various thank yous. Heather, really look forward to the retreat next week. Maz, she's just put stillness. That's nice. Stillness. And Aline, thank you. My teenage kids were very loud, but I found a calm space for the second half, a calm place for the second half. That was lovely. Well done, Aline. And Lynn, thank you, Vidyamala, very, very grounded. And thanks, Mark, for the tech support. Katya, so much needed tonight. Thank you so much, Vidyamala. Good night. And Helen, I've been ill in recent weeks and used the recordings on YouTube. Doing it live is far more intense. That's interesting, isn't it? Same practice, but I think it's community, isn't it? The fact that we're meditating together and there's 90 odd people out there that you're sharing the experience with. So wonderful that you could be here, Helen. Anne, thank you so very much. My wife joined me for tonight's practice. Lovely to share this with her. We both needed it. That's lovely to hear, Anne, and your wife. Brilliant. Louise, curious timing. I was just taught about a 4 elements grounding exercise for hypervigilance. This is an interesting companion to it. Wow, that's interesting. Good timing. And Anna, my pain came more to the forefront. I like the thought of love coming in and out. Yeah, and I hope you're able to work with the pain, Anna. And Helen's saying, glad you're able to join us, Lorian. And Nat, thoughts of times I'd walk around the woods and fields where I used to live with my dog, who passed a few years ago. But that time together was so special. It's interesting. I mean, again, that's imagination and creativity. Memories come in and we just allow ourselves to be touched by the memories. Meg, thank you, Vidyamala. It was wonderful. So calming after a very busy day. Thank you, Mark. Looking forward to the retreat on Sunday. And Ezzy's saying, thanks so much. And Helen's saying, so I love the community. So I think that might be the same Helen that was saying she usually does it on YouTube. So the community element. Miriam, been feeling anxious because of new and suspected terror threat at a few football stadiums. And my husband is at a game this evening. Engaging with my breathing and softening served me so well. The fluidity, the love, and the spaciousness were exactly what I needed. Thanks for this opportunity. In and out of anxiety, all the same. I think you've described it really well, Miriam. And being in and out of anxiety is different from being, rigidly kind of glued to anxiety, isn't it? So if we can just get a bit of space around it, the anxiety may still be there, but it's a different experience. And Karen, so peaceful and restful, thank you. My experience was deeply restful, a space between sleep and conscious awareness, connecting with my releasing and receiving breath in the body, focusing on tension and letting go. And then someone on YouTube that Mark's posted, Eleanor said, I felt held by the element of air. That's so interesting, isn't it? I felt held by the element of air. How beautiful. And Julia, thank you, Vidyamala. Very soothing. I wish I could join you for the retreat. It sounds wonderful. I hope everyone enjoys the experience. And you can still, you just do the retreat and all the recordings will be there. So you can do it in your own time if you want to. And then Anna, this is the first time I've been since I got the poetry book. Loved reading that. That's brilliant, Anna. Yes, we've got this amazing poetry book at Breathworks. I can see Katie's there. That the whole pain and illness community. We got a special group at Breathworks. Had a whole sharing of poetry last year that's got turned into a really beautiful book. And someone's saying, where can we find the book? I wonder whether you can quickly find that, Mark. Otherwise, I'll make sure I have the link next week. Katie, do you have the link on you? No. Sorry. Actually, people I will find it right now. If you want to go, just go. We haven't got any more comments now. And if you are interested in the poetry book and you've got a moment, I'll find the link and then I'll put it in the chat box. But if you want to go, then by all means, just slip away. And really wonderful to practice with you and see you next week. Have a good week, everybody. Let me just go hunting for this link. It's always like this, isn't it? Just when you want something. But I think I know where I'm going to find it. Oh, someone's already done it. Brilliant. Thank you. Well, I'm helplessly and haplessly searching. Someone else has found it. That is brilliant. So yeah, that's such a really wonderful book. So if you want to buy it, and proceeds go to Breathworks, which is also really wonderful. We've already made several £100s from that. So a huge shout out to you, Katie. I can see you there. Good. Okay, everybody. So if we want to unmute to say goodbye, then that's lovely. And see you next week. Hope to see some of you on the retreat.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you for tonight.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks very much.
Everybody.
Bye.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Take care.
Bye.
Good night.
Goodbye, everybody.